breakthrough company. This short presentation contains information about our new Mastery program. The focus that we've had since 2003 has been very much about owners. It's been about helping owners become happier, healthier, and wealthier. In 2008, we refined that. We separated out two distinct classes, I suppose, the owner-operators from the owner-managers. The themes were the same, but the conversations were quite different. Leading yourself and leading others is a different challenge in a larger organisation. With the evolution of the program and the individuals on the program, we've reached the point where we've decided to select a small number of organisations who we think are ready for the next stage in the adventure. And that's about how to move from an owner-led business to a team-led business. We call it from success to mastery. You've got good businesses, you've got good teams, but the opportunity for greatness is what sits in front of us. So what we want to do in this short presentation is just go through, for the benefit of people who might not have so much familiarity with the program, how we intend it to work. And I guess the first question you'd have is, well, what is Mastery? It's a development program for successful business owners and their leadership teams. And it's designed to help businesses that are already successful get to the next level of performance. And in our minds, that's about developing the leadership capability of everybody in that team. Leadership in this organisation needs to shift to the team, to the management team. And as a result of that, we believe that organisational performance will be improved. So how does it work? We'll go into a little more detail later, but broadly speaking, there are 3 residential workshops, June, October and February, and they're designed to meet the planning needs of most organisations. When we say residential, it's one night away on each of those occasions. There are action groups that meet regularly. This is made up of 6 or 7 people from the program, facilitated by one of our coaches, and that's an accountability and a support mechanism. And then there are one-on-one coaching arrangements as well. But we'll go into a little more detail in a moment. One of our fundamental philosophies is that if you want to grow the business, you need to grow yourself. And that's true of business owners, but it's every bit as true of business managers. So the leadership development that we're proposing and that we're that's fundamental to the way we do things is all about people and strategy. It's all about how we lead others by better leading ourselves. Most of us don't get enough time to work on the business, so a big part of the concept is providing that time to think about where you're going and where the company is going, and then do some thinking about how that might be done better. Topics, they cover everything, including evolving leadership role, managing change is a huge one, innovation, building culture, those kinds of things. They tend to be, if you like, behavioural. There's an element of strategy in there because we do get into things like customer connection, critical competencies, key points of difference, those sorts of things. But they really come down to how you lead this organisation better. Let's talk about the workshops. We really believe that there's a lot of value in having a residential experience, one night away. So that's a total of 3 nights over a year. And that's because we see a lot of value, and you'll know this from conferences as well, in those exchanges that happen both with your team, but every bit as important, with others from other organisations as well. The other conversations at the dinner, at the bar, etc. So we really encourage that residential element, even though it's in Auckland, it's actually going to be in the central city. We've chosen June and October and February because February is a great time early on in the calendar year, before the financial year kicks in for most people. June, mid-year, an opportunity to take stock. How are we going in the calendar year? We're through our first quarter typically. Are we on track? What do we need to change? And October, of course, to maintain the momentum that we need to get us through the Christmas period. So very specifically chosen to give us 4 months in between, just enough time to lay some big plans, and then get them done. The agenda for the workshops, we start with the owners only session. They'll have lunch together. That's an opportunity to check in on strategy and on progress since the last meeting. Then from about 1:30, the managers will join us. So we'll have about 60 people in the room, perhaps 70. We'll work through a module. The first one will be an introduction to some of the principles and concepts of the program, and that'll be about things like development time, how we think about time management and priority setting, introducing you to some of our templates and goals, really getting you kind of up to speed on how we do things. Now, that'll be covering some older ground for the owners, but again, it's all part of getting on the same page. You'll probably be at mixed tables, so you will be with other people from other industries, not with your team at that stage. And that's an important part of the program because we can get very insular. We can get very bogged down inside our own business and start to believe that our business is somehow unique. Sure, it's different, but it's not unique. After that, after the afternoon tea, we'll have a high caliber speaker, and then there'll be a dinner at around about 7 o'clock. Following day, we'll start the process with breakfast together, and then at 9 o'clock, you'll be back in your company group. You'll be applying the concepts from the module from the previous day. You'll spend an hour and a half or so really working through what does this mean for us? How can we use this idea to make our business go better? Then after morning tea on the Friday, you'll go through your business plan, review it at a high level. So this won't be operational. This will be very much strategic about where you're going, how you're getting there, and what else you need to do. We'll have a lunch together, and from there you will either disperse or there's the option of staying on and continuing the planning process. We believe it's got the right combination of education, discussion, accountability, and planning. We think they're going to be great sessions. The action group is a very important element of the program. For a long time, the owners have been meeting fortnightly in their action groups, and those groups will continue. Very conscious of how much time is involved here and getting the right level of time investment. So we've decided to make the action groups monthly for managers. You won't be with your colleagues, you will be with people from other industries. We'll set them up so that they're local to either your home or your work. Typically they start about 7:30 in the morning. They go for about 90 minutes. You go through what you said you'd do last time, what you've done, and what you're going to do in the next month. There's a lot of accountability, but more importantly, you get to leverage the collective knowledge of the group, and you get exposure to other industries, and you learn that actually, a lot of the things that you thought were unique to your industry are common to other managers. The other dimension, which is a new one, is going to be a monthly webinar, or as we prefer to think of it, an online learning event. Webinars these days are still pretty boring. We're going to be working on trying to bring content to life. We'll have a mixture of live and recorded. And what that will mean is that we'll be able to stream a 1 to 2 hour event that you will be able to participate in from your office. So you'll be able to get together, go through this module, take the opportunity to have the conversation internally. You'll be able to include a wider audience with that. You'll be able to take that to your own teams, to your own staff, to share with them, and in that way deepen the capability in the business. We're very excited about this. We can see huge opportunities in an application of technology. We've started to see what it does in the corporate world, and we want to be at the front of bringing that message, that technology, to the SME market. Now, you might be saying to yourself, surely we could do this for ourselves. Well, development programs like this are not uncommon in corporates. In fact, most corporates would have either an in-house system or they would have a bunch of outsourced providers for this. But it takes a lot of organisation and a lot of effort. There are people in corporates who are called learning and development managers, and their job is to organise these kinds of things for staff. Most small businesses don't have the luxury of that, but we've worked with small businesses for long enough to know what these development needs are. And what we've put together is a program that you can pick up and run with straight away. You could, the other thing you could do is do a whole bunch of courses, but we think that there's a great deal more value in this kind of spaced learning approach. You know that typically you don't retain very much from doing a course. This approach actually helps you to evolve. The more you get the message, the more you apply it, the more you practice it. We've seen that work time and time again with individuals, and we're now looking to do that with whole teams. The reality is with these sorts of things that the benefits will depend on how much you invest in them. We do know that the program will provide you with the time and space to work on rather than in the business, and work on yourself rather than just doing. It'll help you make that transition from manager, getting things done, to true leader, which is moving organisations forward. The skills and the knowledge that you get in the program will give you greater confidence in yourself, and that's the hallmark of a great leader, is that self-confidence. Not arrogance, but self-confidence, belief in yourself. You will find that as your knowledge and your skills increase with practice, that you will become a much better leader, and as a consequence of that, you'll also have a lot less stress. But look, in the end, it's all about being part of a high-performing team which is engaged and charged with the challenge of taking the company to the next level of performance. We think that's a great adventure. We look forward to you being part of it.